let's dive into the conversation. Let me start with Alex Byrne. Right now, what were your what has been your main takeaway from the last 3 sessions? What's been your main takeaway, and what are you focused solely on right now?
Gosh, that's a tough one. Main takeaway is just I think how to approach the changing environment with the NAR lawsuit. Improving the buyer consultation, communicating, that information better to the prospects or clients when you're meeting with them, and especially working with people that are first-time home buyers who may not be able to afford paying you an additional 3% commission or 4%, whatever it is. So that's one thing I'm working through. And then what was the second question?
What are you actually working on? So your biggest takeaway, and then what are you actually working on right now?
Yeah, so I'm working on improving that consultation, and then I need to start working on improving my personal accountability and following the run rest cycle better.
Okay. So, okay, that's good. The consultation itself, like, what are you doing to improve it?
So all I've done recently is just verbally talk to people about the NAR lawsuit. I don't have any like documentation I can give people to explain to them like what's changing and what the commission is, other than like a buyer exclusive agency contract. So
What are you saying to them?
I'm talking. I tell them how like the NAR lawsuit is going to be changing here soon, and I'm still doing a buyer exclusive agency contract with everyone. But I just kind of explained to them that they may have to pay for that themselves if we can't get seller concessions to cover it if they're a buyer. And then if they're a seller, I'm and same if they're buying, like if the seller's not offering any compensation, then I kind of explain that. And then if they're a seller, I kind of tell them how like right now, like I'm charging you like the full commission that I charge, but if the house isn't listed till after this change, then it'd be a different percentage.
Hmm. Chanel, how would you, if you were to coach Alex up there, what would you do? What would you say to do different or tweak based on what he said? Or would you just give him a high five and say, keep doing your thing?
So Alex, it's funny, Melissa is on this call, and everyone, I wanted to introduce you to Melissa. She's a part of my team in Pittsburgh, North Carolina, and based out of Cary. And I love seeing so many North Carolina people on this call. Nina's here, Colleen's here, love it. So what I would say, Alex, is get super, super, super comfortable with fully understanding exactly what happened between the DOJ and NAR. So that more than anything, people say, I don't understand why this came about. I get that question a lot. So going back to the actual base and foundation of where this all came from, why it went up, now where is it? And then, there are a lot of people who are like, well, are you still a part of the lawsuit? Are you not? I hear there are some firms and there are some MLSs that are, some aren't. The best thing that you can do now is really read up where it came from, why it came from, where it came from, who's involved, who's not involved, and how it may impact buyers moving forward. So I feel that you are in a similar market as us. It will 100% affect how we do business. But I feel like things always happen on the West Coast first, and then they make their way this way to the East Coast. We're about 4 to 5 months behind them. And so we can learn a lot from our California cohorts for sure. But it's just being prepared and being ready. There will be some sellers who offer more in buyer agency compensation than they do now, quite honestly. There will be some builders who offer more than they do now. There will be others, and I'm sure you all already seeing it because we're seeing it in our market, who have literally gone down to 1% or none. So I think I shared with this on the last call that I saw for the first time, there was 0 buyer agency compensation in the MLS. And in the agent remarks, it said, please, when you submit your offer, submit the compensation you wish to receive. Oh, it didn't say that we were going to receive it. It didn't say that it was going to be agreed to, but it may be none. I mean, that's what's going to make the differentiation between multiple offers as well. I would also consider, for sure, Alex, is to put together 2 or 3 pages of, imagine a timeline. This is where it came from. This is where it is. This is how it may impact you. And this is how I'm choosing to do business because of it. And it just, people want to visually look at it, because I always say, when I speak to someone, I talk and 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 I talk, and then they kind of get this dazed look, and I go, but don't worry, because everything's in the packet that I'm about to hand you. And they go, oh, okay, great. So that's my recommendation. You're having the conversations, Alex. So I really want you to pat yourself on the back. What Melissa and I were just talking about, and Nina and I have talked about this too, is having role playing with other agents and having those very difficult conversations and getting comfortable with responding to them. It's the level of confidence you choose to respond to as to how buyers are going to respond to you.
Beautiful.
I was going to say, I've done most of that. Well, I don't understand the whole lawsuit, everything very clearly, but as far as verbally, I've been doing that with everyone, just not documented yet, and that's very good. But I will say every conversation I've had with people has been went super well, never had any objections. No one really complaining about it or against it. So for anyone else who might be struggling with those conversations, it's better than you think.
I agree. I think it's also being very clear, and I discussed this before. What is your value? What is your time worth? What is the minimum amount you want to make on every single transaction? So whether that compensation is coming from sellers, whether it's coming from the agency, whether it's whomever it's coming from, you need to be clear about what you want to get paid and how you're going to get paid. And then you're going to have to walk away from things that you didn't walk away from before. But remember that whatever you say yes to, you're saying no to something else, and vice versa. So be ready to know what your value is and stand behind that value, because that's who you're going to continue to attract to your table.